All right, welcome again to everyone. I see that the room is filling up fast. It's great to see so many people joining us here today. Those of you who are already logged in, I know that today's webinar falls on Halloween. Does anyone have any plans after the webinar to go trick or treating or out to any events? Let's see a show of hands here. All right, Emily, great to see that. Dennis, looks like you wrote in that you're going to a fun Halloween party. That's awesome. Have a spooky time. Sunny's got some plans after the webinar. That's really great. We could have this webinar here and enjoy the holiday at the same time. I want to say hi to a few good friends and familiar names I see out there. Tyler and Wendy, welcome to Webinar Wednesday. Vincent, it's always great to see you here as well. Arlana and Blair, thank you for joining us here for Webinar Wednesday. I believe this is Webinar Wednesday number 51. The previous one we surpassed 50 webinars, which is fantastic. It's over 100 hours of training workshops that we have now that is available on our website. All right, gang, let's dive right into it. Welcome to another edition of Webinar Wednesdays by Brilliant Directories, tips to grow your online community. I'm Jason there on the left, and we're lucky to be joined by Rick and Patrick today. Rick is one of the support specialists here at Brilliant Directories. Chances are very likely that you've interacted with him through the support ticketing system. He's awesome. And we're also lucky to have Patrick with us today. Patrick is a digital marketing expert and has helped hundreds, if not thousands, of directory website owners align their websites to a path of success. So Rick and Patrick, thank you for joining us today. I'm really excited about today's webinar.
All right, thanks for having me, Jason. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, Jason. Happy to be.
All right, awesome. And I always like to mention, if you haven't already done so, we can wait 20 seconds for you. Please go ahead and join our Facebook group. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook. It's a great way to continue the conversations after and in between Webinar Wednesdays. There is tremendous amount of participation there. I'm on there myself. Patrick is in there. And there are a lot of great fellow directory owners that are asking great questions and also providing great answers and workarounds and solutions to your questions that you might have. So please go to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook. Join the group. We'll happily accept you and can't wait to see you there as well. And if this is your first time joining Webinar Wednesday, on behalf of myself, Patrick, Rick, and all the regular attendees here, welcome. It's so great for you to be with us here today. Webinar Wednesday is a great platform, an area to learn how to improve your marketing skills to help your website grow faster. Setting up the site can be done really in a few minutes or overnight, but then the real work begins and getting people to visit your website, sign up to your website, nurturing those relationships so they continue to grow. So we like to cover topics related to converting visitors into members in Webinar Wednesdays, how to increase your website traffic. We could look at SEO strategies. Two of my favorites on this list are identifying revenue opportunities, and that actually stems from first identifying who your audience is and the industry that you're serving. And the second one that I like most on this list is how to improve your website's navigation, how to create a simple and direct path to help the website visitor succeed in signing up to your website. So if you have questions on these topics or other various topics, please keep them handy. I will be taking questions a little later in the webinar, and we'd love to take a look at your site and see if we could provide some helpful feedback for you. And we covered this topic as a tip of the week, and I think we're just going to make it a staple, just as a reminder for everyone in all the Webinar Wednesdays moving forward, is just a reminder not to get stuck on the hamster wheel. And when you're working on your community, on your directory website, you're probably wearing many hats. You might have a team that's assisting you. It's important not to get stuck on one step of the process of growing your community. You always want to find a need and fill it. So that's the problem that you're solving. You want to create content that sells and gets people excited to explore your website. You also want to have an easy to use website and design. So once you know what you want to, the content you want on your website, then you want to put it on a website where people can read it. Then you want to focus on driving traffic to your website. Then you want to follow up with your members, and then you want to repeat the process all over again. After you follow up with your members, potentially you'll find a new need and fill it, and then you'll create copy that sells and solves that problem, and you'll do this process over and over again. You never want to get stuck, for example, in step 3, where you're just stuck designing your site and you never move on to focusing on driving traffic. You always want to do things in small chunks and pieces and continuously move forward in the process. That'll help you have continuous growth with your website. So we have a few things to review in today's webinar. I did a Facebook Live earlier in the week on the new add-on that we have, Paper Post. It was highly anticipated. A lot of people were looking forward to this one. So I just want to do a quick demo of how the Paper Post add-on works. Essentially, your Brilliant Directories website allows people, your members, to publish content such as coupons, classifieds, property listings, and so on. Before this, they just either had the ability to publish or they didn't, and it was free to publish. But now you can put a paywall between them publishing content and they have to pay, and then they can publish content. So I want to show you guys how this add-on works. First, let me show you where you can find this add-on. You can go to the Brilliant Directories website, and in the add-on section, actually it's one of the most popular ones so far since we released it. It's right there at the top right, Paper Post. You can search for it there, and we also have a page with some additional information. But you won't need this page right now because I'll dive in and show you how this add-on works. So we're here in the admin dashboard, and normally if you wanted to allow members to publish coupons and classifieds, you would do that in the finance section when you're managing your different products and your membership levels. So let's toggle on over to manage products, and in this example of this website, we'll use our premium membership level as the example. So when this add-on is enabled, you'll start seeing some new things as far as options and settings in this area. We want to toggle on over to post publishing, and this is where we'll see the new settings. And in this example, let's use coupons, posting coupons. You can see all the different features though have settings such as no free posts, must pay. So if you check this, your members don't have the ability to publish any free posts. Maybe you want to provide them with the ability to have their first post free or first 5 coupons free, and then they have to pay a certain amount after that. So you can always choose to check this. If you want to provide them with free posts, you can just enter a numerical value here. So maybe it's 5 or 10. There is a nifty setting here. If you set this to 0, that does represent unlimited free posts. So depending on the membership level, you might want to provide them with unlimited free posts. And then there's the price for any extra posts. So the minimum has to be 1 in whatever currency your website is using. So you can charge a minimum of, in this example, $1. And what I want to do for the coupons is set 1 free post, and then any extra posts are $1. And I'll go ahead and save the changes. And after this is saved, let's actually create a brand new member account. So I'll go to search members, and I'll just create a new individual member. Click here, add new member. And I'll just do test55 at test.com. And we'll set them as a premium membership level. All right, and we'll log in as this new member. So I'm a new member on the website, and let's go to the dashboard area, and I'm going to attempt to publish a coupon. And if you recall, my first coupon is free, so there's no paywall or anything right now to publish a coupon. So I'll go ahead and just create a coupon here, test 1, and I'll save my changes. That's really all I need to do at a minimum to publish a coupon. And if we click back to view coupons, we'll see now, here's the test coupon I made, but now if I want to add a new coupon, it's $1. That's the price that I've designated and set. So if I click on this, let's It's letting me know that it's $1. Now remember, I am a new member, so what I actually don't have right now is a credit card on file. What's really cool about this, I was going to say it asked me to enter a credit card. I think this is a test site, so that kind of backfired me on there. Normally, it will ask the member to add a credit card on file to then publish the coupon. But it's assuming that I have a credit card on file on this test site. But it makes me go through the process of paying that $1, and now I can publish a new post, and this would be test 2. Let's save the changes here. And if we go back, it will be the same thing again. Now it will be $1 to post. Now, if I want to edit this post and actually set it to unpublished, I should get an alert here. It says, if you unpublish this post, you'll need to pay $1 to publish it again. The reason we don't want members publishing and then unpublishing posts is it changes the publish date, and then they can spoof the system so that their posts continuously show at the top of the results for whatever type of content they have. So it's giving them a fair warning that if they unpublish this post, that if they want to publish again, they will need to pay the $1 amount. So in this case, I'm just going to keep the post. And what you're doing is you're encouraging them to, instead of unpublishing it, perhaps they just need to edit the post. So this is really great functionality because it adds an entirely new revenue channel for your website. Prior to this, you could have paid memberships and upgrades. You could sell leads through your website. And now you have a third channel, which is being able to charge your members for the content that they publish to your website.
Yeah, it's really an amazing release, and specifically for any website that focuses on one type of content. If it's an events directory, of course, you can have them sign up, and the first event can be free, and then you can start charging them for every event. What I love most about this, Jason, is that not all members are created equal. And what I mean by that is you might land a huge account that posts a ton of events, and you might just have a user that just wants to post a single event. It's unfortunate that you have a $29 monthly plan with unlimited events. You're not maximizing on that bigger company that's publishing hundreds of events. And this way, if you do land a huge contract with a realtor on a properties website or a retailer and a coupons website, you're going to be really happy you did that, because they're not just signing up for a catch-all single monthly pricing page. You're going to be benefiting from the volume that they're publishing, which is really what you want to do in a business model like that.
Absolutely. It basically gives you the advantage of providing, actually, I think you're providing your members with more of a service, because it's not a free-for-all anymore. So people are going to be more thoughtful in what they're posting to your website because there is a paywall, even if it's $1. And the price will vary depending on the type of content and the industry. A property listing could be $200 as an example. So yeah, this is just, we're already seeing great success of people using this add-on. And if you guys are already using this add-on, actually, let's take a look at the audience here. Let me lower everyone's hands here. If you are using the pay-per-post add-on since it was released earlier this week, let's see a show of hands here, and maybe you could tell us what you think of the pay-per-post. Maybe provide us with some feedback here in the webinar. Hey, Eric, how you doing?
Good. I just had a question. Does the pay-per-post adapt to, like, if you clone a post type, will it work with that clone?
So that's a good question. So when you clone one of your post types, it'll be its own independent type of post at that point. So under post publishing, it will have its own set of features that you can configure and edit.
And do you have, I've been talking to some other people in our business just to try and figure out how we could utilize this functionality or this tool. And we're sort of, I get, how you would utilize it just to say, hey, if you want to post, then it's this much money. But compared to the regular, like you were talking about earlier, where it's like there's a catch-all, okay, you can post this or you can post that. I don't know, do you just have any sort of like feedback or recommendations on like how to utilize this to actually get people to engage with it?
Yeah, actually, prior to the webinar, Patrick and I were talking about like several different applications where this would work pretty well. Pat, do you want to share a couple of those instances?
And the different ways that you can use a paper post.
Yeah, how would it make sense to use a pay per post model?
Because, like,
Yeah.
for example, like with the standard setup without paper post, we've sort of been looking at like, okay, well, can we? And we're event focused, so we're saying, well, what if we let them just post all their events for good content, so that our website is getting traffic. But then that doesn't help us, monetize what we're trying to do. And at the same time, it's like you could say things, well, you can't post a picture or you can't post, something to say this is why you should upgrade. So I'm sort of at a roadblock and trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah, so for an events website, if you're primarily an events website, you may or may not want to go that route. To me, a paper post makes sense when they post the content, then they're getting the results that they expected. So let's say it's an events website. If I'm going to post on your website, will I get inquiries, right? Is the audience large enough that I'm getting a return for my investment? And I'll know that based on how many people contact me about that event. It's difficult to go the paper post route if you're not delivering on that end of the bargain, right? It's not just for the privilege of posting content. It's because they believe that they're going to get something in return. If it's a jobs board website, I'm paying to post that job. Do I get people applying for that job? That's how I would basically gauge whether or not it was worth that. So like on monster.com or on a jobs board website, I'm going to pay for that service because I'm getting distributed into a network and people are applying and I may find a good candidate. And that's basically what paper post opens the door to. I would be very selective, extremely selective on which features I do this with. I am having trouble thinking of a website that would have two features where you have paper posts, because you probably have a diluted website if you have too many features that you're trying to charge for that content. So like photo albums and blog articles, and I would always open that up. I wouldn't be micromanaging each individual post, but that core feature, that core purpose of the site, that's the one where you may consider using this paper post functionality. I don't know if Jason agrees with that approach or not.
Yeah, two things. One is I always say that your site should be focused on one or maximum two pieces of types of content. So if it's coupons, stay in the coupons lane. If it's events, property listings, just stay in that lane. When you're everything for everyone, Pat used the magic word here, is it dilutes the value of the website's purpose. And then number two, to Pat's point, is people will pay if you're bringing them eyeballs and views and inquiries. So if you do, maybe you can incentivize them and let them know that when they pay for a post, you guys are also going to do X, Y, and Z, kind of like paying for a press release. There's websites you can go to and you pay for them. You submit a press release and you pay for them to kind of aggregate that press release around the internet. You're basically paying for a post, a press release, and then they're promising to do X, Y, and Z for you. So if you're looking for ways to incentivize them to pay for the post after maybe they pay for a post, nurture that post for them. Maybe share it on your social media, add that post in your newsletter if you're just getting started out and looking for ways to add value for people paying for posts. You could do small things like that. So thank you, Eric. That was a good question there about the paper post. I think in the future webinars, this add-on is so new. It literally just came out a few days ago. I think we're going to see some more examples and more applications of how people are utilizing this, and we can all learn on strategies to best implement this on our different types of websites. All right, we have a great new segment from Rick today. Rick's Corner, we have a new one, and Rick's come up with a topic that we see in the support tickets, often being searched in the forums, is how to add and place banner ads in different sidebar sections of your website. So, Rick, how many tickets a month do you see that are kind of related to people asking about how to place banner ads around their sites?
I would say that enough for it to be a good topic to discuss today.
That's a very smart answer. So yeah, I'll pass over the controls to you, and you can take us through the steps of A to Z on what a banner ad is and how to place it in different sections of the website.
All right, that sounds good to me. Perfect. All right, so as Jason just stated, we get this question quite often through the support portal. The idea behind what we're gonna go over is to show you how easy it is to upload your own banner, your own image, and then add that image throughout different sidebars on the website. So in order to get started, well, we're here in the dashboard, and we're going to navigate to the settings and open up those design settings.
So Rick, I don't know if it's just me. I'm not seeing your screen just yet.
Okay, let me know when you're able to see my screen.
Yep, we got it. So you're in the design settings area of the admin.
Correct. And I'm navigating to the banner ad designs tab, this one right here. Okay, so the first step, if you want to display banners through the website, is to ensure that you're turning them on, right? This is very common and it usually goes unnoticed. So display banner advertisement, you want to set that one up to yes. Bear in mind that then you have to choose which banners you want to display, right? For the purpose of this demonstration, we're going to use this one, the first one, sidebar banner ad number 1. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to open up this field. The next step is going to be to upload the image, right? So in this case, we're going to replace the current existing image. So I'm just going to click here. It's going to open up the media manager, allowing me to upload the image. Let's wait a few seconds until it loads. I have a few banners that I uploaded myself before the webinar, so I'm just going to go ahead and choose this one that I've already uploaded. The uploading process, super straightforward, just a matter of clicking upload image. You should be ready to go. Since I've already uploaded, I'm just going to select it here from the options. I'm going to choose that one. Okay, so now I've successfully uploaded the image, and I've successfully selected the image onto the sidebar banner ad number 1. All right, this is very important to note. The name of the widget is what we're going to use in order to call this specific banner onto the sidebar. All right, so the next step that I'm going to do is figure out what sidebar I want to use, right? This is also very common. A very common occasion, to be honest, is the search results for the different features. In this particular scenario, we're going to focus on the coupons. So basically what I want to do is just show the banner right underneath the search module. Okay, so a quick tip here, in order to spot the name of the sidebar, simply click on the magnifying glass option right here, the same as show widgets, and this is going to give us the name of the sidebar. It's going to make it easier for us to identify where we want to call this. So let me scroll down. All right, so I know that the name of this sidebar is post search results. So that's the sidebar that I'm going to add the banner that I just uploaded. Okay, so let me jump to the back end one more time at the sidebar here, the banner here. So what we're going to do is navigate to the sidebar manager, because this is the next step, right? So that's under toolbox, and we're going to open up the sidebar manager. Okay, so let's wait for the sidebar manager to load. Okay, so here we have the default sidebars that appear on all Brilliant Directories websites. The one that we just spotted was the post search results. So this is the one that we want to edit. Let's go ahead and click edit right here. All right, so I mentioned earlier that the name of the widget was super important, because that's how you're going to call that widget onto the sidebar. So the name of this specific section and widget is Bootstrap Theme Banner Responsive Size. So that's the widget that holds the image that I uploaded before. Let me jump back to the sidebar manager. Let me go ahead and search for responsive. There you go. So responsive size, Bootstrap Theme Banner, responsive size. So this is the banner that I'm currently that I want to go ahead and use. Since the process is super straightforward, it's just a matter of dragging and dropping. I just need to click on it and bring it over right here. There you go. So now we have two banners, basically the same widget is used twice. You can leave it like that because again, you can use a different widget here. You can have like 4 banners if you want it. Not that we recommend that, but you can if you want to. All right, so the next step is just simply going here and saving the changes. All right, so the sidebar has been saved successfully. Let's hit OK. So basically what this means is that we have already uploaded the image to the widget, and we have now added the widget onto the sidebar. If we navigate back to the page that we were on, which is the slash coupons, and I hide the widgets, which basically refreshes the page as well, you should have the banner show up. For some reason it's not showing up.
Rick, did you save the design settings when you wanted to enable? I don't think you hit save here.
No, I did not. Good catch there, Jason. I did not. I did switch it, and I did mention that it usually goes unnoticed. This was definitely the case. All right, so let's make sure that that's saved. All right, good to go. Let's go back to the website. Give a couple of seconds and hard refresh to make sure we avoid any cache versions of the website. And there you go. So when I switched it back to yes and I saved it, then the banners are coming up. So these are the banners. They're currently 300 by 300, could be 350 by 300. That size is also going to fit properly. And basically this is how you get the banner to display on to the sidebar.
That's awesome, Rick. Now, I noticed.
Do you have any questions up to now?
Yeah, I have one question. So you put the same banner in the sidebar. What if I wanted to put a different banner? So I wanted two different banners there instead of the same one.
Okay, so in that case, okay, let's go ahead and do that process. So if you want to use different widgets, then just go ahead and use a different section from this tab. So we use the sidebar banner 1. I want to add another one, so I'm going to use the one that's underneath it. So I'm going to use the sidebar banner at number 2. Let's go ahead and use and follow the same process we did before. We upload the image. Let's go ahead and select a different banner for this example. Okay, so I'm going to use the one that I have underneath it that I've already uploaded myself, the 250 by 250. That's the one that I want to use. And then the name of this widget is Bootstrap Theme Banner Responsive Size 2. All right, so I've already uploaded the image. Now let me go ahead and save the changes so that I don't go through the same mistake I did before. Okay, so that's all saved. Waiting for it to finish. Okay, there you go. All right, and then the next step, since we already know what sidebar we want to use, we don't have to go and spot the sidebar. We can simply go to the sidebar manager. We're in the post search results sidebar, so this is the same sidebar. Let me go ahead and open up the sidebar manager again, just so that I don't confuse you guys. Okay, so the sidebar that we want to edit is this one, the post search results. So let me go ahead and edit this. All right, I'm going to search for the responsive size number 2, which is the other banner that we want to use. So let's go ahead and search for responsive again. But this time I'm going to select this one, the responsive size number 2. I'm just going to drag it, drop it underneath the one that we added before, and I'm going to save the changes. I don't want to make this too confusing, so I'll just go ahead and delete the other one so we don't have a duplicate banner here. So I'm just going to delete this one, and yes, delete. Okay, and save the changes again. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and jump back to the front end, to the slash coupons page, and let's do a hard refresh here. All right, so what we should have now would be the coupon search. We have the banner that we originally uploaded, and then we have the second one that we just uploaded this time. Basically, that's how you get two to show.
That's really awesome. I want to see if anyone attending today has questions about banner ads, because I know that we do get a lot of support tickets on it. If you have a question about the banner ads, you can use the raise your hand feature, and we can address them here right now. While people are maybe getting their questions together, Rick, there's a cool feature on different profile pages. You can show different sidebars. So maybe on premium membership levels, you show a certain sidebar, and for basic membership levels, you show other sidebars. Is that right?
That is completely correct. And as you just put it, it's based on the membership level. What happens is that the membership levels have an option that allows you to choose which sidebar you want to use. So what that entitles you to do basically is if the premium members don't want to have ads on their side on their sidebars, they can, because they're paying you a lot of money. So let's say that you don't want to have any advertisement showing up on their listing. But the free ones, maybe you can take advantage of the profile and you can indeed advertise by adding a banner such as the one that we added here. So let me show you real quick by navigating to the back end where you're going to select the sidebar to be used, because that's basically the idea here. So if we open up the membership levels by navigating to finance and the different products that we have available, this is going to take us to this specific page. Let's just wait for it to load. So let's say here, okay, so what we have here is the general user and we have the website administrator. I mean, you have the different membership levels or products available on your website. So if I wanted to select the sidebar for this specific membership level or product, I'll just click edit, wait for it to load. Okay, and here we have the option, the field called profile page sidebar. So currently there's no sidebar selected, right? But if we open this up, then it's going to give us the options that we have available, meaning the sidebars that come by default on every Brilliant Directories website. Please note that if you want to create a new sidebar, you can, and we're probably going to go over that process in just a bit. And then when you create the new sidebar, it's going to show up as one of the options on this dropdown, so you can easily select it for that specific membership level.
That's actually really important. So you're not locked into the default sidebars you start with. You can create a new sidebar and then put whatever widgets you want in those sidebars, and then obviously have that reflected on a specific membership level page.
By all means, yeah.
That's really good. You can really customize pages for your members. If you guys have more questions about banner ads and sidebars, feel free to chat them in, ask them in the Facebook group. Rick, thank you so much for presenting on that topic. I'm sure it's super helpful for a lot of people looking how to place banner ads around their site.
Hey, you're more than welcome. Yes, feel welcome to reach out if you guys have any more questions. We're always happy to help.
Thank you so much, Rick. All right, loving these Rick's Corner segments. Super helpful information there. And that leads us to the tip of the week. And today's tip of the week, I think, is really important and paramount to every directory website's success, because we need to understand the evolution of successful directories, because things have changed over the past few years, even the last decade, of what a directory website is, the value it brings to your members, and how you can really rally people and build a community around your directory rather than just being a website with a bunch of links in it. And we spent a good amount of time on the tip of the week because we wanted to be very thoughtful about this in the information that we're providing. And I think it'll help a lot of you out there who are either just starting out or looking for ways to grow your directory if things have been stagnant for a while. So before we could talk about the evolution of online directories, first we need to break them down to its most simplest components. And online directories are essentially websites where people can find and post searchable resources. So what does that include? Well, a lot of the websites that we use today are actually directories. And we chose a few brands here. And all of these are essentially directories. You can post content and you can search for content. And why directories are so awesome is they really allow you, if you're doing things right, to provide even a better service than Google. So you're not going to find on Google what Zillow provides for property listings or what Retail Me Not provides for coupons. These websites have actually done the monumental task of making themselves more valuable for the type of service they're offering than Google with respect to the type of information. And there's a lot of commonalities between directory websites. Even all these brands that we see here, they allow people to create accounts. They allow people to, again, search for content. They allow people to post content. A lot of it is user provided content on there. And I think one of the most important things here is these websites, these particular ones mainly have a single content focus. And that's a theme that you'll notice us talk a lot about in the webinar Wednesdays, is really having a focus on your website. And we can see how successful they've been by having a single type of content focus. For example, Retail Me Not is coupons, Angie's List is to finding professionals, Zillow is for properties, Eventbrite is for events, and Pinterest is for photos. So they have a good singular focus. And again, they've done the monumental task of doing a better job at presenting this type of content to Google, and that's why people use these directories, and they're awesome. Pat, do you have anything you wanted to add? Because I know we spent some time on this slide together, and you had some really good points that you had.
Yeah, you're definitely covering most of the primary ones that I want to share. But yes, the website, as you're building a directory, the person needs to think, this is the site I need to go to find X. It needs to be solving a problem. And all of these websites basically identified an issue or identified something that wasn't possible, and they improved whatever their niche was, so that users would eventually want to join their sites, and more importantly, keep coming back to the sites and using them.
Well said, well said. Yeah, they really give people a reason to come back, because you're only going to find that type of content through these websites. Granted, they have competitors and whatnot, but these are the leaders in their markets.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so how were directories used in the past? Let's go back 10, 15 years. We all remember link building and getting a link to your website on as many other websites as possible, and those were all directories of links, basically. They might have had categories of different types of links based on the industry you're in, but it was pretty simple. They were simple resources. They'd be beyond a link and maybe some textual information like a name and a phone number. They didn't really provide much information. And there was a lot of thin pages and repeated content. So you really had to dig in to navigate. Now you can go to the homepage of a website and through one search field find exactly what you're looking for. So the other sites, they had lots of different hurdles that you had to click into to get to the content you were looking for. And all those pages in between that you were clicking really didn't have high value, except for the fact of being another section of the site with tons of links on it. And there is value for internal linking, but back in the day, in the past, I think it was a little overdone. And again, now Google calls those thin pages. They really have no real valuable content on them besides a few links. Another strategy or way directories were used is people would just bulk import millions of records of any type of business data, and Google would actually start ranking those pages, and the website would potentially get a lot of traffic. Google wised up. Google now even knows if you're a new website and you just come out of the gate with millions of web pages, that's a red flag for them. So Google's smart enough to know sometimes when a site is growing too fast or has too many web pages. So they've adjusted their algorithms for that. And a lot of the sites back in the day, the directory sites, were designed to find out ways to outsmart Google, ways to aggregate content or duplicate content and modify it slightly. And we all know the result of that is when Google, office dog here, when Google updates their algorithms, websites that were trying to outsmart Google get penalized. So maybe you invested a lot of time, resources, and money, and once Google updates their algorithm, your website gets affected negatively. Pat, do you know any instances or know anyone personally that was ever affected by a Google update or algorithm? It's happened to a lot of people, obviously.
Yeah, I think I even know one person that works at Brilliant Directories that you may be partners with that had an SEO company and had figured out a formula that was doing excellent for SEO and really built a small enterprise, basically identifying and leveraging that mistake that they found with Google, basically a weak spot in a formula. And eventually one of these Google releases came out to the algorithm and wiped out all of his progress. He was charging his customers a lot of money because he was delivering great results. And when this update happened and they weren't showing up on the first pages of Google, in some cases not showing up at all, he had a mess that he just couldn't clean. because he built it the wrong way, meaning there was a shortcut. And as we all know, if you're going to build a business, taking a shortcut, finding a quick way to make a buck instead of actually building a foundation that is sustainable is not usually a very good approach. And basically, what they had to do is close the company and look for new ventures, because that business model just wasn't sustainable. Continually trying to stay one step ahead of Google when Google has the resources that they do was not a good approach.
That's right. And it's not to say that directory websites never had value in the past. I just want to go back one slide. This is just what was available at the time, and things were just starting to blossom. There were portals and resource websites that basically were just links, and this was the way to do it. And Google was catching up with these strategies that people were kind of leveraging to make their sites show up artificially in the search results. So what's actually changed the last few years beyond the Google updates? Today, really the theme is obviously you want your website to be optimized for SEO and Google and things like that. And there's very straightforward best practices that you can follow and strategies that you can employ and checklists that you can make sure that you're marking off all your good SEO to-do list stuff. But it's a little bit different now. After you've done all your on-page SEO, Google is really looking at how your website is serving people and if your website is adding value. So part of the challenges today that not just directory websites, but most community websites, is you really need to earn people's trust. And that can come by being an authority in your industry, being seasoned. Obviously, the website needs to look good and professional, and also social proof, testimonials, how large your community is. Do you have an active social media following? Do people look to you for advice and information? Those are all ways that you can people look to you to see if you've earned their trust or you are in the process of earning their trust. Also today, it just makes there's just more competitors than ever before. Anyone can launch a website in 2 seconds these days. So anyone who has an idea, there's obviously more websites out there. There's more competitors out there. But also because there's more competitors, it's really harder to trick people because they're savvier. They know how to look for information. They can kind of look through the BS and see if a website is really established or they're just trying to use a bunch of buzzwords and grab people's money. So people are a lot smarter. So even though there's a lot of competitors and noise out there, you can use that to your advantage by not just being another cookie cutter site, and cookie cutter like one of those link sites out there that we were just talking about, and actually having a voice and a brand and a culture and community behind your directory website, because that is stuff that is genuine and really can't be replicated by competitors. And also those savvier potential members, they're gonna know that your site and your brand is special in some certain way. So it's really more about serving people's interests rather than only focusing on how to outsmart the algorithms.
Well said, well said. And even in Google AdWords or any sort of advertising that you're doing, because people are so savvy, the algorithms have basically changed in order to identify if you're really delivering content that is worthy of people's trust. And they know that if they do a search term for what's the best watch to buy, and they click on a link, Google wants to see how long they stay on your website. Do you browse other pages? Are you interacting with that content? And basically that translates to trust, because users are very quick to open up a page and identify there's no quality here. There's nothing here of real value. I was tricked to click on a link. There was clickbait. This is not what I thought I was going to get. And they're going to leave right away. So it's just really important now more than ever to basically cater to them and deliver the quality that they're expecting when they're visiting your website.
Absolutely. The most important thing about this slide is that we spelled the word savvier correctly the first time around. But yeah, I want to go back one slide on the Google updates. Has anyone, if you want a show of hands, use the raise your hand feature. Has anyone ever had a website that was negatively affected by a Google update in the last few years? All right, nobody's hands going up. That's a great sign. That means you guys are following best practices, so good on you for that. All right, so now that we know that the rules have changed. How have successful directories evolved with the times that are changing? And you're going to be, again, seeing some of the recurring themes that we keep talking about in the different webinars that we have. Basically, you need to put more care into your brand. Even if you're doing things quickly and swiftly, the presentation of your website to the world needs to be a little a little better crafted, well crafted compared to the competition. And part of that is simplifying your website's offering, purpose, and mission, etc. So the first thing that we talk about always is identifying your audience. And for real, you really need to choose one audience, main audience, that your website is going to cater to. There's oftentimes in the webinars where we're reviewing somebody's site and we say, okay, who is your audience serving? And we get a list of 6, 7, 8 different types of audiences. And there's no way for a new site to succeed trying to serve that many audiences because of resources, manpower. It's a logistical nightmare trying to organize content that's going to appeal to all those different audiences. Sign-up pages need to be coordinated for all those different types of audiences. So if you really are serious about succeeding, you need to identify one audience that your site is going to be crafted for and towards. Once you know the audience, then you need to find one need and fill it exceptionally well. I'm going to go back a few slides. Don't get dizzy, guys. It's really important to find one problem that you want to solve, much like these brands have done here. A lot of times when people are starting their directories, they want to allow their members to publish coupons and articles and classifieds and properties and events and job listings. It's an exhausting list. Just because those features are available does not mean you need to release them and put all of them linked in your main menu. I'm an advocate to maybe just keeping one and then searching for the professional members and trying to keep it as simple as possible. So if you guys have a lot of areas on your website, types of content for people to search out of the gate, you might be creating a little more work than is required to launch your site for yourself. Let's go back to this slide here. The third here is having a clear mission and reasons to join your website. I want to pass this one to Pat because you were talking about the value of having specific reasons to join your website and things that most people think are reasons but actually aren't reasons to join a website.
Yeah, and I find it amazing because if people are selling a physical product, if you tell somebody, we all heard the interview question, grab this pen and sell it to me. People are very creative. Well, this pen is guaranteed never to have ink spill and it's durable and you could drive a car over it. When you're selling a physical product, usually in your pitch, what you're trying to do is tell the audience what's different about your physical product, why that pen is better than another pen. If I'm going to sell a shoe, I need to come up with a reason why you want to buy this shoe. Is it made of lighter material? Is it more durable? Is it because it's made in the country that I reside in? Is it because we give a pair for free every time you buy one to somebody that's needy? There needs to be a reason why people want to buy that product. However, when you look at an online membership or association website, a lot of times people don't go through the trouble of giving you that pitch. It's not evidence the why I want to join that website. It's just join the website, find lawyers, find this. That's sure it's something I can do, but if I were to try to sell a pen and say, well, you should buy it because you can write with it. Well, yeah, I understand I can write with the pen. Why should I buy that pen? And it's important to go through the exercise and just imagine your directory as a physical product and pitch it to that end user, that audience that you've defined.
So when you say so let's say I go to a directory website, and all it says is search and find lawyers. That's not good enough, you're saying, Pat? That's not enough of a reason to get someone to want to use the site?
I would not say that it can work if you have an incredible amount of content and you have a finished product. They might give it a shot. They might do the search and they might see what kind of data they get in return. But it would be a difficult sell to get them to buy into your platform. Usually when you're getting started and you're trying to break into a niche, you're trying to break into a new sector and you have existing competitors, you need something that's going to differentiate yourself somehow, some way. That's why local directories oftentimes have a little bit of a competitive edge, because when you're on the phone, you're able to really take that local angle. Well, why advertise with us? Because we're local, because all of our entire audience are your potential customers. All of our promotions go out to your potential customers. There is a big why there. Why be on this directory? Because we're supporting each other. We're part of a community, and it's important
I
that the
want to stop you
messaging
right
is.
there. I want to stop you right there. You used two words that are really important. Because we're. That's a mission. Because we're doing X, Y, and Z is a website's mission. And in the past, those link farms, those link directories didn't need missions. They were just ranking for Google and trying to get page views. But now it is about your mission and what your messaging is to potential members. So I just wanted to interrupt you there, because everyone needs to be able to finish that sentence. Because we're doing X, Y, and Z, and then you want to finish it with for X, Y, and Z. We're doing X, Y, and Z for X, Y, and Z. And if you can't finish a sentence like that, or say a sentence like that, then you don't have a clear message or an audience, a clear single audience for your website. So this is why it's so important to be able to identify these things. I know we listed the text here. This would be a great flow chart. This 1 through 5 with arrows pointing from step to step. So let me just, before we go to 4 and 5 here, identify your audience, find one need, explain your mission and reasons to join and why people should participate. Then your website should provide resources that directly support your mission. Because we're trying to do X, Y, and Z for X, Y, and Z, those are the types of resources you should keep on your site. And number 5 is get rid of everything else. Seriously. The number one thing that our recommendations on Webinar Wednesdays is to remove things from the website, because they're getting in the way of your main messaging. And all of this is important is because you only have a few moments for people to connect with your brand and your messaging. So the more noise you have, less is more in situations like this, because you're being very direct with people and you're making it very easy for them to connect with your mission, and therefore they'll most likely want to join your cause and go on that journey with you. So Pat, I'm still going to pass this one back to you, because you were pretty adamant about the steps in this slide. There's 5 signs to make sure that you're on the right track with the way that you've established and set up your directory website. And again, the point here is to keep things simple and direct.
Yeah, and obviously the home page is where it all starts. It's really critical that it is explaining the problem that you're solving primarily is what you want to be explaining on the home page. You want to make it clear what it is you're solving to the community that you're trying to cater to. And when you're doing that, you want to make sure that you're speaking directly to that one main audience. For example, we were talking earlier about Yelp, and we were talking about who pays the bills for Yelp. Well, it's the restaurant owners, the business owners. They pay to advertise, and they keep that puppy going. But who does it cater to? What is the content directed to? It's directed to the person that visits the restaurant. So even though they're making money off of the restaurant owners, you go to their homepage, you're not going to find anything about tips for restaurant owners, joining their website, landing pages. It's going to be everything tailor-made for that audience that they're trying to attract. I know we've gone over this site as an example, but it's one of the more well-known directories. You'd have to go all the way to the footer and find a small link in the footer that says claim your business. and advertise, and that's it. And they know you as the business owner, you're going to look to advertise on that site. You're going to know to go to the footer, but all of that content is tailor-made to that end user. They know who they're speaking to.
That's right, and also they're focused on just a few things: is finding restaurants and reading reviews. So the reviews, the restaurants are the business listings, and the reviews are that secondary type of content that people are searching for. Now Yelp is very established now; they offer coupons and things like that, but it didn't start like that. It was basically restaurants and reviews. So they kept it very simple. They chose one lane: reviews and searching the businesses, and that's how they've grown from there. The next thing you need to do is engage your community. So you need to find ways to share updates so people see that the mission that you're so proud of, that you are actually doing things to support that mission. If you're helping local businesses, write a post about something you've done for local businesses, showcase a local business on your social media, or write an article about them. Do the work to show them that you stand behind your mission and that you're not just a stagnant website with links on it, that there's an actual pulse coming from your hub, from your website. So that's why it's important to share updates, as people want to see that there's a pulse, there's activity behind the brand. It can't stay stagnant.
And that's why we really liked localshops1.com when we did that audit a few webinars ago, because there were pictures of it was a local directory, and you could see all the business owners getting together, organizing meetings, doing activities, and sharing that. It's a local directory. We're a community. Here's the proof that we're active and we're going towards the mission that we've set when we launched this particular directory.
Right. So new people can see the outreach. Existing people get the benefits of the work you're doing that supports your mission. And then the last thing is to have an onboarding or nurture strategy. And essentially what that means is it's just your way of reaching out to people after they've signed up with you. So that can be welcome emails, asking them to join your social media or engage with your social media, picking up the phone and helping them set up their profiles on your directory website and welcoming them, and also providing them with useful updates, maybe through newsletters and things of that nature. But keeping the relationship alive is very important, and you can demonstrate your expertise and credibility within your industry through those nurture strategies. So after someone signs up to your site, you obviously want to think of who's next to sign up. Find ways to provide additional value and surprise them and wow those people who have just taken the time to join your website, whether it's for a free or paid membership sign up.
And oftentimes, and I find it interesting, some people do a decent job with the onboarding and the nurturing of new members. They see those dollar signs, they're chasing them, they want to make those first sales. Very understandable. But another demographic that might be even more important to be nurturing are those end users, if you've defined them not to be the members. So for example, Yelp, their main audience is the person that's going to come to the site to leave a review. So after they receive a review, you'd want to nurture the reviewer, not just the business. If somebody contacts your member, that's a lead for you. It's in your lead engine. You have their email. You should absolutely enroll them in a nurturing campaign, get them back to the site, get their feedback, get them involved, get them participating, get them to join your Facebook group, do whatever it is that you have to do to get them to feel like there's still more to be done on your website. So you can nurture your members, but also the people that are using and browsing your website.
Yeah, I'd say actually that's even more important to that point, Pat, that you just made, is giving the end user more reasons to come back to your site through the nurture strategies and sequences. What really spawned this whole tip of the week, and this was kind of a big presentation for us because a lot of it is very abstract. The point that I want, the most important takeaway that I'd like everyone to have from this is this. Directory websites are awesome, but it's still a product and it needs to be packaged properly. And a good method to package your directory is more of showing people that you're an organization, you're a community, and you're not just a directory of links where people can only search and post, that there's an actual personality and there's a culture behind the website's name. So when you do that, it will help people, it'll resonate with people better. It makes people feel like they're part of something when they're part of a community, rather than just being listed in a directory. They feel like, just like I said, they're part of a community, and they'll stick around a whole lot longer when they feel that vibe and that presence from your organization. So that's really the main point that I wanted to share with this is, if you can create a sense of community behind your brand, it's easier for people to stick around and also easier for them to join and be part of your mission, whether it's passively or actively, or they just want to follow you. You've now given them a reason and a purpose of a mission to follow. And that's really the point that I wanted to make here, that it's not just creating a directory and leaving it online so people can join. You got to have a voice and a personality to really make people stick around in today's evolved world. So what we wanted to do is maybe take a moment or two and kind of review some of your websites out there and see if your directory is ready and has evolved to the place it needs to be for 2018. So if you want to share your website, you can use the raise your hand feature, and we can take a look at your website together. Maybe you have a question about your site. You want to make sure something is configured properly on your website. All right, let's try Dimitri.
Hey, I'm doing great, Jason.
Where you?
My website is mattsocial.com.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, we checked out your site a few weeks ago, right? A couple months ago.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But
Okay.
we were talking about shareable content.
That's right. All right, so okay, so here we are at mattsocial.com.
Yes, sir.
So what's the question you have for us today?
Basically, well, you guys said you would, any websites that anybody would like to get reviewed. Basically, any tips, advice you can give me. I've posted 2 articles since the last time we've looked at it, but I mean, my end user is martial arts practitioners, and then the customer would be academies or private instructors.
Okay, I noticed that you've chosen not to show a logo here.
Yes, because the logo I had a white background at that time, which obviously some of these have white background clearly. But yeah, basically I just haven't found the right background to use or logo.
Okay. Okay. Here's a few things. Let's start with your main menu. Nothing says martial arts in your main menu. It says home, how it works, login, create, content, instructionals, and articles. It says not signed up yet, get your free account now. This is basically default content that would work for any industry, and it's not letting anybody know what your website is for in any way. So if this said like martial arts videos up here,
Okay.
Things like that, how it works, you don't even know what website you're on, to be honest, to know how it works. I would recommend putting your logo back there and coming up with a slogan. And the second thing, just on your homepage, is the images are a little blurry, and the slideshow is going pretty quickly. And I see that they're badges, but you don't even see the whole badge. I recommend smiley faces for the industry you're serving. So if it's martial arts, it could be people on like with their arms crossed, standing in the gym on a mat, smiling in their gis or whatever it is. So you want to add that human touch to the website, and your homepage is a great place to put those smiley faces and show people that they belong on your website, because when they see your homepage has to kind of reflect who your audience is, and when they see themselves on your homepage, they're going to want to dig deeper. Right now we're just seeing blurry images. I get that these names might be popular, but I think you could do better. I wouldn't even use a slideshow. Me personally, on most websites, sometimes it could be a little nauseating seeing the images go. I would just choose one image, and then whatever you choose, your color text here, make sure it's easy to read. So behind the image, those are more aesthetics. Suggestions rather than more about the building the community. But part of building the community is having text on the site that helps the community relate to what you're doing. So instead of how it works, I would say like our martial arts mission. Like really just say what it is. I know it's a bit long, but you only have 4 or 5 menu links, which is good. You're keeping it simple. So our martial arts mission. Right, so now the website is already feeling more like it's a martial arts website. So I would use better text. I'd show your logo and try to use the word martial arts.
Yeah, and also just to go back to the basics, it's what need is being filled by the website. I understand I can find my martial arts needs in one place, but what is really the problem? And also, who's the audience? Because I saw you scroll down and there's a section that's about, hey, do you teach martial arts? Join our directory. So me as the end user, I don't know if this is intended as a resource for academies or if it's intended for me to enroll my child. Is it intended for me to enroll myself? Is it to buy products? So it's a little confusing who the website's for. So I would first identify the need that you're filling. And if this is an exercise that oftentimes takes a lot of reflection, it takes a lot of meetings, a lot of bouncing ideas off of people. What do you think of this? What do you think of this? What do you think of this? Talking to people within the industry. The reason why it takes a long time, because when you identify it, you're onto it, you have a business, right? And it's really important that you take the time to identify what need it is you're filling, because you've basically discovered a business once that's happened.
Right. Okay. That makes perfect sense.
So when you started this venture, what motivated you to start the directory? Because you're probably a part of that industry. Is there something lacking? Is there something missing that you identified and you said, you know what, I'm going to start this to help fix this problem?
Yes. There was a influx of schools that were teaching martial arts that didn't really have the lineage. Also, students having no way outside of regular social media, Facebook, to actually network with other practitioners or other martial arts.
Wow. So those two things you just said to me, that's a mission, right? And especially the first thing, there's a problem in the industry. You can identify what is it about your directory is not just a directory. There must be some sort of process, I would imagine, to joining it. If you want to make sure that there's a certain quality, uphold some level of quality, perhaps there's something you've put in place to help differentiate it. So if I'm enrolling my child, I know that if I come to this site, it's not just a directory. Those schools have been vetted in some way, shape, or form. And of course, it would take some time to build something like that. But you'd want to write video, you want to record a video. What you just shared with me right there, even though it was just a couple of sentences, I'm starting to connect with you, and I'm starting to buy into your vision. I understand why the site exists. So making videos, recording them, talking to the end user, why you created the site, what problem you're looking to solve, what they could do to help. Because there has to be parents and studios and recommend. Do you work with a qualities academy? Recommend them here, and you can have a form so that now the parents or the students are like, wow, you need to have this school in there because I took a class there and they're the absolute best. They're trying to help you populate your directory because they're buying into that mission.
see what you're saying. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I have to. I'm already excited about the mission. I'm just using slang here. So you're saying there was an influx of wannabe schools and gyms, and it was
Yeah,
you
they
were
call them McDojos.
what are they, McDojos?
Yeah, that's what they were calling them.
Okay, hey,
Fake black belt.
yeah, and you know what? If for someone who's just kind of just looking for somewhere to have fun and exercise and check it out, that's probably fine for them. But for someone who's looking to take their craft a little more seriously, you want a real list of like Pat said, vetted trainers and gyms and schools that you can count on that are going to train you the correct way. I'd even give your list a name. Like there's things like the Rob Report and things like that. You give this list, give it a name, give it a personality, give it exactly what Pat said, a mission and a purpose. And you've already mentioned what it is, Dimitri. I think you just need to press on that a little bit more. And let me go back to one of the slides here. Get rid of everything else. Number 5.
Yes. Yes, and even just one other idea is perhaps even come up with some sort of chart where you say I'm the authority in a way, and people when they create their account they have to give you certain information, and you're going to rank them. It's Matt's list. It's
Right.
a specific list, and you can filter them by which one has the most experience, which one has the most amount of teachers, and so on. Whatever that criteria is that you're going to define helps identify a serious professional establishment to a McDojo. Make it easy for the end user when they're performing searches and seeing search results that they can see that information and compare those listings. That is a real service to the community at that point.
That makes perfect sense.
I was going to come up with more of these sample slogans and stuff like catchphrases. When you're ready to train with, like, I don't know. So who are these, like, what are these real deal gyms? Are these, what you said, the word seasoned or lineage? What was the word?
Yeah, basically lineage. So like, for example, there's Hoyce Gracie, who was the guy who won the first UFC. There's a whole bunch, Lucas Lecree, basically well-known black belts who have competed and have proven their worth, and their black belts that they've promoted, run these gyms. So, if you got promoted by somebody who's won a big tournament or multiple tournaments, you pretty much can bet that teacher is going to teach you quality content.
Perfect. So again, this is just off the cuff slogan here. So like, when you're ready to train with true masters, search Matt's list, or whatever you come up with the name for this, your list, right? So that's how you're separating yourself from just being a director to find everything and anything for martial arts, because you could search Google for that. But if this is a curated list, that's where the value is going to come in. Is it's curated and you have a mission, so people can trust and buy into your mission. Okay.
Yeah. So when martial arts is your passion,
right,
and not just your hobby,
right.
Search Matt's list.
I love it. I like that one. Love it.
Search.
And then, so should I get rid
search,
of?
Well, we could just say search Matt Social. There you go. Search Matt Social.
Yeah.
There you go.
I love it. So should I get rid of like instructors accounts and merchandisers and organizers for now, since basically that's a
users are searching for people or places to train with, right? So the searchable content are anywhere that a consumer, an end user, can find training, right? So that would be
but I would get rid of the merchandiser for now, because right now I want to be able to compare and say what's a McDojo and what's somebody with lineage, right? And I could do that in the studio. I can do that with the trainers, the suppliers, the merchandiser. I can't be like, oh, well, this is a serious glove company and this one is just a McDojo, because they're just merchandise. So you're not really going to have something to compare. It gets a little corporate. You're actually trying to go in and be non-corporate and just give them the real value. So I would introduce that much later, after you've perfected whatever it is you're going to discover here in helping people find the proper trainers and schools. Then you can look at maybe bringing in merchandisers and other members.
And I'm going to take it one more. Just one level further. I'm pretty sure I have a friend. He's in jiu-jitsu, into jiu-jitsu. It's a pretty close-knit community. People start to know each other very quickly. So one thing you can do is that, but I'm showing this site, Burn Me Free. So a buddy of mine made this website. It's for people who have gone to the Burning Man event in Nevada, and they basically create their own personal accounts. So just another way you can do this is maybe even the students can create their own profiles, the type of martial arts they're interested in, and the students and you can create like a little social network for the students as well, potentially. I'm just thinking of other ways, and that would make me feel valued. So if I want to search Matt Social, I need to create an account, and generally I would create a student account, or what you can create a
Correct. Which is, I actually have student accounts.
Right. You can call it something else. Make it something special, like apprentice accounts. I don't know. Yeah, something that makes them feel like they're always training. And in order to search Matt Social, they need to create a student account. And if they want to make it searchable or not, that's up to them. But that might be something nice also. So now you're creating a nice little social network that has a mission, a purpose, and community behind it.
That makes sense. So would you make the gyms non-searchable to anybody who does not have an account right now, or would I wait a little bit later down the road when I do have somewhat of a community?
I would wait maybe till you have somewhat of a community. I was just thinking a little bit down the line. That could be a good next pivot, rather than more content. Get better types of users, which would be the students, and students can search each other. Maybe they can say what belt they are and how many years they've been practicing, and things like that. So I just see that this is a really close-knit community, and there's a potential to create a nice little social network out of this with the students and the gyms.
Yes, sir, and that's what I'm working on. I appreciate all the tips. That is a lot of good information.
All right, then look, the next time you're on a webinar and we unmute your mic and you're on, we want to see these changes, though. All right, we want to come to the site and say, wow, yes, when martial arts is more than just a hobby, search Matt Social.
It will be done.
All right.
Beautiful.
Nice work, my man.
All right, good luck, sir.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks for sharing your site there. All right, good stuff. See some other hands raised here. All right, got Mark. Mark, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
Awesome. Where are you calling in from?
New Jersey.
Okay, great. How'd you like the presentation so far today?
It's the first time I'm on it, and I wish I was on more of them. Okay. So I intend to be on all of your following. Very, very good, very informative.
Awesome, great. Yeah. So are you just starting your website? Do you want to take a look at it together?
Yeah, it's ptdirectory.com.
Okay.
And we haven't put that much effort onto anything with the front end. It was more of getting some of the back end listings there. So we're kind of what you said. We should definitely limit it to one thing. But I can kind of explain to you what our theory was with the site.
Sure.
Is that really we're targeting physical therapists. And if you kind of go down a little bit, you'll see that we have categories, but they kind of creep scope. Yeah, physical therapists, pediatric therapists, and occupational therapists are all in the general physical therapy practice, rather than audiologists and speech pathologists.
I'm with you. Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's really physical therapists, pediatric therapists, occupational therapists. They're the real, they're all physical therapists, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And what we tried to do, being in the field for so long, is we felt that the nature of physical therapy, unlike a doctor, is people are not really searching or trying to find physical therapy providers.
Right.
I think it's an area of opportunity for all physical therapy. Right now, you basically go to your primary care doctor,
right,
and the doctor will say, go to company A, B, or C. And it's really limiting the end users, the patients, to make an informed decision about different companies that are available. It could be 3 blocks away. They could have a great physical therapist 3 blocks away, but they're only going to go to their primary care doctor, which, basically could be a college roommate or something. So that our goal was to bring physical therapy into kind of an awareness, like a medical community. When you need to get like when you need knee surgery, you're going to go look for an orthopedic surgeon. As compared to physical therapy, it hasn't been traditionally that way. But I see, maybe 5 to 10% of the business right now are coming in direct, finding sites over the internet, contacting PTs. And I got to be honest, it's the younger crowd. The younger crowd that'll challenge your doctor and kind of know, hey, I'm not necessarily going to take my doctor's word for it. I want to see what's out there. So that's kind of how we came up with the idea.
And I heard you earlier say that your site is really for physical therapists. However, as I hear you describe your website, I don't think it's for physical therapists. I think it is for people that would be looking for physical therapists. It's a completely separate audience.
That's my key takeaway from today. We didn't really know, because we put this thing together. We basically worked on the data on the back end, but we didn't necessarily know, do we market it to our members, which would be the therapy companies, or to the general public that needs physical therapy? And that's one of the things my takeaway was, from what I heard, we should be really targeting this site for people who need physical therapy.
So there's two things for that. This is a lead gen site at the end of the day. You want to cater the content to the people searching for the physical therapist. Generally, with a website like this, though, it's like, let's use another like medical profession, like urologist, right? Yeah. It's hard to. You're probably going to find a urologist from a referral. You're not really going to go on like a Yelp and find a urologist. It's very awkward to do something. I mean, if you really have nowhere else to go, that's what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. So with this being mainly a lead gen website, where your ultimate goal is to get the consumer to fill out the lead form on the member's profile page or on a landing page that you create. So here's like the send. Your ultimate goal is to have them fill out this form here. Send a message.
Yes, exactly.
So a couple things for this industry, because you can change the text around. I would change it to request an appointment. So that way they're not setting an appointment; they're just requesting an appointment, and then the doctor's office can follow up accordingly to get them in to the office. I'm going to go to our demo sites here. Let me go to lead gen demo. So what I like is it already sounds like you're going to probably get rid of some of the main menu links here. Hopefully, I think. I don't know how jobs.
No, not even. Like, we looked at it and we were, and we're one of the, I also am one of the larger physical therapists out there, but I'm in the IT space. So, jobs is not, that's coming off.
Gotcha.
But especially hearing what your advice was, it makes total sense.
So because it's medical, it's not so much like getting instant quotes. So you can find the right terminology and create a landing page where people are filling out this lead form, and you're going to match them with the top physical therapists in their area. So you're totally bypassing the user even searching the directory. Your main goal is to get them to a landing page where your website's mission is to basically match them with the best medical professional or physical therapist for their specific need. So you can update this lead form, like, what part of your body hurts, what do you need help with, and then they feel like they're getting like a custom experience on your website that's really going to help them with their pain or whatever problem they're looking to solve. The secondary part of your directory, your website, can then be the directory, in my opinion, and you could call it like preferred specialist directory or some catchy name, just like we were talking about the martial arts list. Give it a name, like it's some kind of a curated list. It's not just anybody on there, and that way it adds a little more value for the website visitor, and then potential PTs that want to join the site, they might feel more compelled to be part of that special list. So actually, I see 3 levels to your site. One is you're going to want content for PT patients, right? 6 ways to stretch your neck after a car accident, like or things like that.
Yeah.
So write some content to bring them to the site. The second thing is the lead gen. So you're going to want to create those landing pages to get matched with the best PTs for your particular condition or whatever it is. And then the last thing would be the preferred directory as far as what you give focus to on your site. So I would focus on content, then lead gen, and then the third part would be the preferred directory that people can manually browse on their own as well.
Now, question for you: are we using the wrong kind of like template? Should we be using the? Because right now, we could change this any way that we need to, but right now it looks like it's more for search as opposed to how you have it, where you get,
Okay.
you have.
So let me open up a couple of these demos here. So the different themes are basically just enabling different things on the homepage. There's really nothing it's not really a theme. It's more enabling, pre-selecting things to show on the homepage. So let's look at, so this is our like association theme, and even the alumni theme looks very similar to this. So let's say your site was just about PT information, right? You guys are publishing crazy content on, best practices when you're doing physical therapy and stuff like that for the consumer. So you could start with, something like this where you have a simple main menu, and this can all be consumer friendly content here. And then I would do a hybrid of one of these themes and the lead gen theme. Actually, I was going to suggest the travel theme, but I think the lead gen theme, the simplicity about the alumni theme, it's more about showing content first, which is exactly what I said you should do here. Show content first, but you want them to know that they can get connected with PTs through your website. So that's where the lead gen comes in, where you can have a link like this that stands out. Instead of saying get free quotes, it could say like, find physical therapist now or something like that.
Or we were saying request an appointment.
Yeah, request an appointment. Yeah, something like that.
I also just to add a couple more ideas is, again, answering that need, right? What is different? Right. What problem are you solving? And what I think with a website like yours is, yeah, we're working on the homepage. It's great if you think you're going to start getting traffic to the homepage. When you're dealing with an industry where it's oftentimes a one-time use, like let's say I have a back problem and I hurt myself and I want to get some physical therapy. Once I'm happy with my physical therapist, it's unlikely I'm going to come back and search again for more back therapy. I'm probably going to stay with that therapist. So when it's an industry like that, and Jason touched on it, those landing pages, I would probably make them specific to common issues that physical therapies help address. So a sore back, a sore knee, arthritis, carpal tunnel syndrome. And when you have a Google ad, if I'm on Facebook and I see, because I do have carpal tunnel, most likely, if I saw an advertisement about carpal tunnel and like 5 things you didn't know could help fix it, and I go to a landing page and the landing page is about my condition, and then your website, PT Directory, explains what the problem it's solving for me. Like, we understand that you probably don't know much about carpal tunnel. It's kind of a daunting task to go and get with a specialist. We know it's expensive. We know, you're probably just putting it off. And a lot of us that I've been putting it off for 12 years, to be honest. This issue I have, I wear a brace every day when I type. Why am I putting it off? Because I have no idea what to do next, and everybody has different advice. Oh, you should see this, you should do that, you should do yoga, you should do stretching, you should hang from a bar. It sounds like you can be an authority figure and actually take that angst away and give me some sort of system that if I just put my name and my email in there, I'm going to actually get some good advice in terms of good options for me to go through. And that may be a good way to really get people to engage with the site.
So, for example, for back, like what you're looking at now, where would those land? Like, say I did back pain or knee surgery, shoulder surgery, just say, those are, but without, I'd obviously go more into medical terms with that.
Of course.
how do you get to the landing page? Are the landing pages through the menu, the top menu there?
Yeah. So yeah, you would create a page. I'm getting some articles here. How to create a landing page for the Get Matched form. I'm going to share these articles here. If you come to our Knowledge Center and just search landing page, there's a few articles here with very specific instructions on how to with the code and what you need to change. So you can easily kind of reconstruct some of these landing pages here. You just have to basically put your text. And once you create the page, then you can link it in the main menu or in your Google Ads or Facebook ads, and so on. So let me just share. Let me just do a search for landing page. I'm gonna share this in the chat here. There's a chat option here in the Go to Webinar. So I just pasted a link. That's basically taking us to this keyword search for landing page. And the first 5 or 6 options have some good articles there.
Okay.
All right, so all the technology's there, the software works. Now it's just about the presentation, right? So in your case, I think we're going for content, landing pages, and the directory is really actually the third thing that that's the most important for a site like this.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for sharing your site with us.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Mark. All right, good stuff there. Yeah, that's like an industry where you mainly go off referrals. It's not like looking for a good Italian restaurant. So yeah, Pat brought up a good point. It's kind of like a one-time use website. So you just want to have those good, strong landing pages, have content on there so when people come there, they feel like it's trustworthy and they're actually going to fill in the form. All right, let's see if we got one more person here who can share their site. And we got Ronald. Ronald, how you doing today?
Good, thank you. How are you going?
Good. Where are you calling in from, Ronald?
Calling from Sydney in Australia.
Okay, all right. Well, welcome. What's your question for us today? Do you want to share your site with us?
Sure, it's weddingsavers.com.au.
Wedding Saver. So I'm thinking like a deals website, maybe?
More like a leads generation website for wedding suppliers.
Lead generation website for wedding suppliers. Okay. Make your dream day come true. Save time and money planning your wedding. That's addressing a good problem and solution there.
Thank you.
So do you have any specific questions about your site setup?
So we've just recently started adding members to our directory. We're not really publishing the directory anymore. We're using it initially as just a lead generation site, and we've started receiving leads. I've noticed that one is that seems to be a configuration issue. One is that the location of the event or the location of the lead is not showing in the lead information. And secondly, so it doesn't allow us to match automatically based on, so it might be a problem here on the get match form on that field there. It doesn't seem to be geolocating on Google.
No, it's not.
So we're based in Australia, so 2000 would be a postcode perhaps.
Yeah, it does look like a heavily customized get match form. So there's probably issues with the Google Maps setup, and it's not using the default setup.
I just want to test. I want to test something. Make sure it's your maps are working somewhere else. Hang on here. Yeah, they're working on this field. So if I put 90,
yes. Yeah.
Let's see here.
No.
Your site is just for Australia, so it's only going to accept. Right. Okay. So it is working here. So 2000. Let's see. All right, and let's go back to the other page.
So it's more a get matched form problem. You reckon?
Right. Yeah. Let me check it out.
Something with the customization of it, and perhaps you overrode some of the default functionality, which happens.
Oh, okay. I think we might have done that modification on one of the earlier webinars a while back, about a year ago maybe. So yeah, is it something that you could see from there?
Yeah, I'm just going to check.
Sorry if it's too technical.
Yeah, I'm just going to do a real quick check here. I just want to see your. So you just created a field called lead location. So for it to let's see.
Right.
But no, I
didn't
don't.
know that. Sorry.
No. Actually, I take that back. That is correct.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to see. Yeah, again, this is something I think the team can help troubleshoot for you. Just let them know that it's not picking up the location, and they'll do whatever they need to do to fix that field for you.
Great. And so in the lead in the leads view area, is there a way of getting if you do have customized fields, is there a way of showing customized fields in that leads
Yes.
area?
Yes,
Okay.
there is. So
In
what
preview.
you do want to do is, and I can show you that one. So for example, you have wedding date here.
Mhm.
In the edit options, basically you want to set these to yes.
Mhm.
And it'll
Right.
show in the table view is what you see in the admin area here. So if you set that to yes,
Right.
you'll
Yes,
see it
yes.
here, so your staff can see what it is. Show in
Great.
the preview means that when the member gets a lead and it's still in the preview mode, they haven't purchased the lead, they're going to see this information. So the things that you don't want them to see are the phone number and the email address, for example, in preview mode. But
Yes, that's right.
but the date you want to make sure that's set to yes. So toggle open this edit, and you can set these to yes or no, and you can get them adjusted the way you need them.
Great, excellent. Great, thank you so much. Look, really great site, and thank you for the support and these webinar things. It's awesome.
All right, great. Yeah, I wish I could have helped you out more there, but yeah, those are things the support team will be more than happy to assist you with.
Excellent.
Oops. All right. Thank you there, Ronald. All right, guys. I think this is a good place to stop. Actually, if you guys have more questions that we weren't able to get to, please make sure to join our Facebook group. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook, and we can continue the conversation there. Don't forget to try and create a community around your directory website, more than just links and searching and posting. Really find out what the problem is you're solving and who the audience is that's going to benefit from that. Our next webinar is in 2 weeks. I want to say thank you to Rick for Rick's Corner. And also, if you haven't picked up the pay-per-post add-on, I highly recommend it. It's simply an additional revenue stream and channel for your website. You basically can't lose having the pay-per-post add-on. And don't forget to stay nimble and continuously move through the different cycles of managing your website. Don't get stuck in one of these steps on the hamster wheel. Keep moving. And again, you can join our Facebook group, brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook, and we can continue the discussions there. So on behalf of myself, Patrick, and Rick, thank you guys so much and have a brilliant week. Catch you next time.
Thanks a lot, everyone.